Okay, let's unpack this.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are definitely strapping in for what looks like the most high stakes, emotionally turbulent event in daytime television, a soap opera wedding. Specifically, we're diving deep into the sources covering the upcoming nuptials of Hope Logan, that's Annika Noel and Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, on Bold and the Beautiful, the infamous Lope.
And our mission today, it's pretty critical. We aren't just here to guess if they, actually say, I do. Although, let's be honest, given their history, a successful wedding is practically an event in itself.
Oh, true enough.
But yeah, our sources, they're laser focused on the chaos surrounding the vows. So we need to analyze the specific, really intricate plot twist designed for basically one purpose.
Delivering those big sweeps ratings.
Exactly. That B&B, like all the daytime dramas, relies on so heavily. Absolutely. And when we talk about sweeps ratings, we're talking about those key measurement periods like November coming up, when the networks figure out their advertising rates. So to max out viewership during these critical weeks, a show like Bold and the Beautiful, well, they don't just stage a simple wedding.
Oh. No, they create a narrative pressure cooker. Every single interaction, every guest, every possible objection. It feels like it's engineered for maximum dramatic friction.
And the timeline seems to confirm this strategic urgency, doesn't it?
It really does. Our sources make it clear Lope is moving at lightning speed. Liam reportedly doesn't want to waste any time making Hope his wife again.
Right.
And that speed itself, it's kind of a plot device to rush the drama forward.
And their daughter, Beth, she's sort of the emotional catalyst here.
Totally. Apparently over the moon about it, wants the wedding to happen literally tomorrow, so this immediate urgency pretty much guarantees the payoff lands squarely during the November sweeps period.
So it's a guaranteed marriage, we think.
Yeah, the wedding itself seems locked, but the drama, that feels contractually guaranteed too.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. Because, in the universe of Bold and the Beautiful, a wedding isn't really about the happy couple's happiness. It's about unwelcome crashers.
Always.
And the most anticipated, and I'd argue the most entitled, crasher on that list is, well, who else? The Queen of Chaos herself, Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown.
Oh, absolutely. And what's fascinating here is the sort of psychological framing of her expected appearance. Sheila, because she's currently the wife of Deacon Sharp Sean Cannon, who is, of course, the father of the bride.
Right.
She actually assumes she is entitled to be Deacon's +1.
Wow.
She is apparently telling Deacon with absolute confidence, oh yeah, I'm attending. She's claiming the title of stepmother of the bride.
Stepmother of the bride.
Oh.
It's the sheer audacity of that claim. That's where the dramatic tension really comes from.
Exactly. It's not just a threat. It's this bizarre assertion of familial status based on her, let's face it, very recent and pretty tenuous marriage to Deacon.
But the reasons for her total exclusion are stacked high. I mean, both by the family and, crucially, by the sources reflecting the emotional landscape of the show right now.
Yeah, first off, the sources note that daughter Beth specifically told Hope and Liam, I don't want Sheila there. And their decision to respect Beth's feelings, that seems pretty non-negotiable.
Okay, that makes sense.
And second, Hope herself views Sheila explicitly as her wicked stepmother, wants her nowhere near the ceremony.
Which, given Sheila's history with the family, is entirely understandable.
And we have to remember the very recent history, too. Sheila had that one incredibly brief flicker of maybe redemption when she appeared to be trying to save Liam from Luna Nozawa.
Right, I remember that. Very brief.
Very brief. Because our leak details specify that Sheila immediately lying about Luna being alive effectively negated all that goodwill she'd built up.
Ah, okay. So any temporary forgiveness, any kind of neutrality, just gone, evaporated.
Pretty much. Sheila is basically back to being a town pariah. And for Hope to invite a pariah who just lied about someone potentially being dead, well, that would just destroy the emotional authenticity of the wedding day.
Yeah, it really would. Which puts Deacon in this truly impossible, almost pathetic position, doesn't it?
Totally. The data points indicate Deacon doesn't want Sheila there. And frankly, he doesn't even really want to be married to her at this point.
And that's crucial context, isn't it? That he only got back with Sheila because Taylor Hayes rejected him.
Yes. Rebecca Budig's character essentially told him go home and reconcile with Sheila. Gave him permission almost.
So he's stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck with a pariah wife he doesn't want, who is now demanding access to his daughter's wedding.
Oof. So Deacon is expected to try the sensible route first, telling Sheila, look, it's simply not a good idea for you to come along maybe citing Hope's explicit demand.
But this is Sheila Carter we're talking about.
Exactly. Given her history, her complete inability to accept boundaries, her deep-seated sense of entitlement to family events, the consensus analysis suggests we should fully expect her to crash the wedding.
Fueled by her belief in her right as the stepmother of the bride.
Regardless of the legal reality or, what anyone actually wants.
Let's just pause and think about the narrative payoff here. What purpose does Sheila's, let's assume, inevitable crash actually serve for the larger B&B ecosystem, beyond just, providing screams and maybe some security guard intervention?
Well, that raises a really important question. It potentially serves as the final necessary catalyst for Deacon's long overdue personal freedom.
Ah,
The sources speculate that if Sheila crashes, it creates this public, unforgivable transgression that justifies Deacon finally making a permanent break.
that makes sense. It gives him the out he needs.
Exactly. This could lead him to get Sheila out of his life once and for all, regardless of whether he ever manages to pursue Taylor again down the line.
So Loop's wedding is basically being leveraged as the ultimate plot device for Deacon's own redemption arc.
Pretty much. The sheer embarrassment and toxicity of Sheila's actions during what should be a moment of family joy, it provides Deacon the moral ammunition he needs to cut ties, legally and emotionally.
Wow. So we're not just watching a wedding interruption, we're potentially watching a character's entire marital status implode, all for ratings.
That's true soap opera economy right there.
Okay, moving from one unwelcome crasher to perhaps another,
Hey.
let's pivot to someone slightly shadier, maybe less physically dangerous, but still a potential threat. Remy Price, Christian Weissman's character.
Right. Remy Price is categorized as another potential unwanted crasher, and his link to the wedding is, interestingly, through Hope's brother, Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn.
Ah, Deke. So just like Sheila feels entitled to be Deacon's +1.
Remy might feel he should be Deke's +1 for the nuptials. The drama here, it's less explosive than Sheila for sure, but much more about the simmering social discomfort.
Okay. And the guest list connections, you mentioned they're intricate.
Incredibly so. It really speaks to the way these soap opera families are all interwoven. Remy's presence, if he attends, would also be a source of tension for Will Spencer. That's Crew Morrow, who is the brother of the groom, Liam.
Got it.
And remember, the wedding is at Brooke Logan's house. Brooke is Will's aunt. Remy has this past connections to shady dealings that have impacted both the Logan and the Spencer families. So his presence is just a guaranteed source of awkwardness for multiple key players.
And what specifically makes Remy a threat? Is it physical or?
Not really physical, no. The sources characterize him as having a history of being manipulative, tied to schemes involving money or secrets. So while he might not, throw a cake like Sheila might,
Right.
he has this tendency to bring bad news or uncomfortable past actions bubbling back to the surface.
So awkward truths at an inconvenient time.
Precisely. Our data points suggest that even if Deke Hope's brother might consider giving Remy another chance, maybe because Deke is lonely or feeling mistakenly forgiving after whatever's happened recently, the consensus among the extended family would be that Remy is absolutely unwanted at the wedding.
That phrase, collective discomfort, you used earlier, that seems key here.
It really is. Sheila is an active, aggressive threat. Remy is more of a passive, atmospheric threat. His presence just reminds people of past conflicts, potential betrayals, general untrustworthiness.
So if he shows up, the drama isn't necessarily shouting.
No, it's more likely a series of silent, icy glares from various family members who know his history. It forces Deke to confront his poor choice in associates right there in front of everyone he cares about most.
It's a subtle but still effective way to inject tension into the background of the ceremony.
Exactly. Just adds another layer to the potential unease.
Okay, so no soap wedding is truly complete without someone potentially rising to object, or at least showing up where they absolutely shouldn't be, providing that spectacular high-stakes interruption.
Ah, yes. The objection.
Which brings us inevitably to Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson.
Right. A Thomas Forrester objection, especially given his incredibly complex, historically obsessive relationship with Hope, that would be the quintessential soap opera moment, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
The sources are pretty enthusiastic, calling it super soapy and a wild twist. For the audience, this is probably the scene like secretly hoped for, right? It provides maximum narrative leverage just before the final I do.
And it would immediately reignite that question that has plagued B&B for years. Is Thomas truly reformed, or is he still dangerously obsessed with Hope.
Exactly. And just to provide context for anyone who might need a quick refresher, Thomas's history of villainy runs deep. I mean, this is the guy who kept the secret that Hope and Liam's daughter Beth was alive.
Manipulating Hope into marrying him while she was mourning a child she thought was dead.
Yeah. His history includes elaborate schemes, near-fatal accidents, persistent, often frankly terrifying obsession. That's why the threat of his objection is so powerful. It taps into years and years of dramatic trauma.
But there's always a but. We have to factor in the logistical reality check here, which is actually a fascinating peek behind the curtain of soap production.
Right. The sources indicate that this objection, as much as it would be dramatic gold, is considered a definite long shot.
A long shot. Why?
Because the actor, Matt Atkinson, was reportedly back only for a very short arc, specifically taping for just 1 week.
1 week, okay. And here's the really crucial detail that the sources link to his availability.
Yes.
When he was back filming as Thomas during that specific time, they were explicitly filming Christmas scenes for Bold and the Beautiful.
Okay, wait. That's critical. If the scheduling is that tight that they're already filming holiday scenes, wouldn't B&B be more likely to save a massive, potentially audience-demanded, Thomas-led objection for a huge holiday ratings event?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Why risk blowing on the wedding now if his time is so limited?
Well, that's the tension we have to address. The source analysis suggests that the demand for high sweeps drama for November is so immediate that they might use Thomas's brief availability just to create the specter of an objection.
Okay. Like a tease.
Exactly. Even if they don't give it full narrative weight, they want that momentary thrill, that spike for the November ratings. The sources seem personally doubtful that Hope and Liam's wedding would actually be delayed until the end of the year, just to accommodate a larger Thomas storyline. They need the drama now.
Okay, so the narrative impact then, as suggested, is that even if Thomas did crash and object, it likely wouldn't actually stop Liam and Hope from saying, I do, especially because he seems to be back for such a short stint.
Right. His appearance would serve less as a plot stopper and more as a kind of narrative exclamation point.
It would, as the sources say, definitely shake up things for the short term. Give the viewers that momentary high-octane excitement, a reminder that Hope and Liam can maybe never fully escape their shared past with him.
Okay, so after cataloging all this guaranteed chaos from Sheila, the simmering threat from Remy, the volatile possibility of Thomas, the sources do offer a necessary counterpoint, a reminder that not every interruption has to be designed to, destroy the day.
Right, moving from potential objection to a potential moment of genuine joy.
Exactly. We have a very different type of interruption floated. The unexpected return of Hope's adoptive son, Douglas Forrester, Henry Joseph Samiri.
Now, this would be the much-needed positive interruption for Hope, wouldn't it? Douglas has been off-screen in France, and Hope would just be thrilled, absolutely thrilled, to see him show up unexpectedly to surprise her at the wedding.
It provides that crucial emotional counterpoint, balancing the whole wicked stepmother drama with a moment of authentic, motherly fulfillment.
And there's actually some source confirmation that makes this speculation pretty credible, moves it beyond just, wishful thinking.
What's that?
A behind-the-scenes video was apparently posted by Catherine Kelly Lang, who plays Brooke, Hope's mom. And while she was in hair and makeup, the playback monitor in the background, it clearly showed little Douglas was on that screen.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's pretty concrete evidence that the actor, Henry Joseph Samiri, was back filming something.
Exactly. The analysis suggests two main possibilities. While Douglas could simply be back for the Christmas holidays, given that taping schedule we just talked about with Thomas.
Right, filming Christmas scenes.
He could just as easily have flown back to Los Angeles specifically to be at Liam and Hope's wedding. The sheer joy of his return would be a calculated, I think, necessary move to give the audience and the characters a moment of earned happiness amidst all the chaos.
So if Douglas does make it home for the wedding, it would be a shocker, but a happy one.
Absolutely, a happy one, ensuring Hope receives a much-needed emotional win on her big day. It balances the scales a bit.
Okay, this next section represents, well, maybe the single biggest symbolic twist predicted in the sources. The ultimate alliance, perhaps.
Ah, yes. This one's big. Hope asking her stepsister, Steffi Forrester Jacqueline McGinnis Wood, to be her matron of honor.
If Hope actually goes through with this, the sources are calling it a huge shocker.
Huge! The leaks state unequivocally that if Hope makes this choice, everybody would be stunned, including Steffi.
I believe it.
It's not just an act of friendship, it would be this monumental, definitive shift in the long-term history of their relationship. It would effectively mark the end of that legendary Lope versus Steam love triangle rivalry.
The significance of this twist really can't be overstated, can it?
Mm.
We need to remind you, the listener, of the historical weight here. We are talking about years, literal years of fighting over that man, Liam Spencer.
Yeah, decades, almost.
Their rivalry wasn't just some minor tiff. It was the central engine of the show's drama for so long. They were constantly caught in this exhausting cycle. It made them eternal rivals, even though they're family, they're co-parents.
Right. Steffi and Hope represented these two fundamentally opposed ideals of love and family for Liam.
So how did we get from that to Steffi potentially being matron of honor?
Well, the consensus analysis traces the specific narrative shift that led them to their current, apparently genuine friendship. And it wasn't sudden, it wasn't overnight.
Okay.
They first started bonding, really, after that traumatic crisis where they thought Liam was dying of cancer. Remember that?
Vaguely, yeah, that was intense.
Then the relationship seemed to solidify even more after the shooting incident, which forced them to lean on each other for support, for survival. And now, finally, after all those years of conflict and co-parenting challenges, the sources note, they seem to be genuinely friends right now.
So asking Steffi to be matron of honor, it elevates this friendship from just genuine to, well, monumental.
Absolutely. It's a massive statement.
I have to say, the dramatic irony of Steffi, the woman who spent all those years fighting hope for Liam, standing next to her at the altar, essentially giving her blessing and support. It's kind of stunning.
It really is. It shows maturity, absolutely, but it also provides its own unique kind of tension, doesn't it? Can this really last?
True. And beyond the dramatic payoff, the sources point out a practical side too, right? That makes this logical, not just symbolic.
Yeah, apparently it's not like Hope has a lot of other friends we've seen on the show who would be appropriate for such a prominent role.
Good point. You don't see her having coffee dates with a bunch of random pals.
Exactly. So making Steffi the matron of honor is dramatically appropriate, it's logistically logical, and it's narratively powerful. It turns that history of conflict into a statement of this powerful, unified, familial bond.
And the sources seem keen on this.
Oh yeah, our data points confirm the sources are really hoping to see that happen because of the sheer weight it carries narratively.
Okay, let's break down the actual logistics of this high-profile event, moving from the potential chaos and alliances to the confirmed structure of the day. Who is definitely confirmed and who has key roles in the ceremony.
Right, well, the first major and actually quite charming detail is the officiant.
Oh.
It's Beth Spencer. Their daughter is officiating the wedding. Ah, okay. That's sweet. That provides a nice family-centered anchor amidst all the manufactured drama.
Doesn't it? And the ceremony itself is being hosted at Brooke Logan's house, which signals its status as a major family event. So obviously, Brooke, Catherine Kelly Lang, is expected as the mother of the bride.
Alongside Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye as the stepfather of the bride.
Correct. And then on the groom's side, we expect Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, father of the groom.
Of course. Dollar Bill wouldn't miss it.
And Katie Logan, Heather Tom, who holds that interesting dual role. She's the ex-stepmom to the groom, Liam, and she's the aunt of the bride, Hope.
Ah, the tangled web of B&B relationships. Foundational.
Absolutely. And in what could be one of the most significant family moments anticipated, the sources confirm that Deacon is expected to be there to finally walk Hope down the aisle.
Wow, after everything.
Yeah. Given Deacon's long attempts at redemption and his recent rocky path, this moment really signifies a true milestone in his father-daughter relationship, which makes it even more tense with the potential appearance of his troubled wife, Sheila, possibly trying to ruin that exact moment.
Precisely. The stakes for Deacon, personally, are huge.
Okay, who else? Other key family members.
We anticipate the other children being there. Kelly Spencer, Liam's daughter with Steffi, Will Spencer, Liam's brother, and Deke Sharp, Hope's brother.
And if that shocking Steffi is matron of honor alliance actually happens,
then her immediate family, her husband Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, and their son Hayes Forrester, are also expected to be there. That ensures a pretty sizable family contingent.
which actually contrasts sharply with some previous B&B weddings, doesn't it?
It really does. Regarding the overall size and scope, the sources expect a decent-sized crowd. And this expectation is explicitly contrasted with some historically small soap weddings, which serves as an important benchmark for you, the listener.
Right. Like, think back to the famously tiny wedding of Quinn Fuller, Rena Sofer, and Eric Forrester, John McCook.
Exactly. That's a great comparison. For listeners who might need a reminder, the Quinn and Eric wedding was notoriously sparse. Why? Because Quinn was basically a pariah at that point and had alienated Eric's entire family.
Yeah, the sources recall it was maybe Carter Walton officiating,
Hmm.
and virtually no one else attended. Maybe Ivy Forrester. It was a statement about Eric and Quinn defying the family structure.
Precisely. So the fact that the sources use that specific tiny wedding as a point of contrast indicates that Lope's wedding is designed to be, or at least appear to be, a grand unifying family affair. It's showcasing the complex but, theoretically functional web of the Logans, Forresters, and Spencers.
Gathering the forces, perhaps, that must withstand Sheila's inevitable assault.
That's one way to look at it, yeah. A show of family unity before the storm.
Now, there are a few uncertain but highly desired guests mentioned in the sources as well.
Yes, this includes the patriarch Eric Forrester himself and Donna Logan, Jennifer Garice. The sources suggest Eric and Donna should definitely be dragged out for the event.
Dragged out, I like that.
Yeah, given Eric's foundational role in the Forrester family and Donna's close relationship with the Logans, their presence just adds weight and gravitas to the whole thing.
Makes sense. And then we get into some really niche, in-universe B&B design details, which is always fun given the show's fashion house premise.
Right. There is a specific desire noted in the sources for Deke Hope's brother to design his sister's wedding dress.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it connects him directly to the fashion house, Forrester Creations, and gives him a significant non-romantic role in the event.
It's a lovely detail. It reinforces the familial importance of FC and gives Deke a positive connection to Hope, which, as we discussed, contrasts sharply with his potential association with the shady Rami Price.
Exactly. And there's also this long shot idea floated of Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire attending.
Okay.
And coupled with that is the potential for Hope to get a custom designed scent that Daphne makes her, to spritz on for her wedding day.
A custom perfume. See, these small, intricate details, the custom perfume, the Forrester Creations dress connection, they ground the drama in the luxurious world these characters inhabit. It ensures that every element, right down to the fragrance, is a bespoke product of the B&B universe.
It really does. It adds that layer of fantasy and specific brand identity.
Okay, so we've cataloged the intended chaos, the potential moments of pure joy, and that potential shocker alliance that signals a huge narrative shift with Steffi. What does this all mean for the big day and, crucially, for those November sweeps ratings?
Well, the synthesis seems pretty clear. The wedding itself is a guaranteed I do. Liam and Hope will marry. That seems to be the fixed point. But the stakes, they're incredibly high for basically everyone surrounding them.
Right. The tension isn't really if they'll marry.
No. The narrative tension is almost entirely focused on the external pressures, all carefully manufactured, it seems, to deliver that peak drama. We're watching Deacon, who might finally rid himself of Sheila. We're watching Steffi, who might solidify her friendship and close that chapter on her rivalry by becoming matron of honor. And even Thomas, whose potential brief presence adds that momentary and necessary instability. The whole structure feels entirely like a function of generating those crucial high ratings during sweeps.
And the major twists really boil down to this powerful contrast, don't they? You've got the entitled crasher, Sheila, demanding access and bringing toxicity.
Versus the unifying, genuine friend, Steffi, potentially stepping up as matron of honor, representing Hope's future maturity. And alongside that, the pure, joyful surprise of Douglas's potential return.
It's the perfect blend, really, of guaranteed soap opera destruction and hard-earned emotional fulfillment.
Exactly. The sources really show us how Bold and the Beautiful expertly uses its tight actor scheduling and its deep, long-term character history to maximize impact in a very short time frame. They take these known high-conflict pairings, Hope, Steffi, Deacon, Sheila, Hope, Thomas, and they position them strategically around the fixed point of the wedding to create maximum narrative leverage.
Which leads us perfectly to our final thought for you, the listener, to chew on as you wait for Lope to inevitably walk down that aisle again. We know from these source leaks that the dramatic intensity of the wedding is, in part, dictated by production constraints, like Khamas's potential objection being limited by his actor apparently only taping for 1 week, maybe for Christmas scenes.
Right, that logistical reality.
So, given that B&B relies on this tight actor scheduling to create dramatic tension and meet those crucial ratings deadlines, here's the question. Which twist Sheila's pretty much guaranteed chaotic crash, or Steffi's monumentally unifying alliance as matron of honor, do you think the production team would prioritize, maybe even sacrifice the other for, if they only had the budget and time for one truly major high-impact scene during the actual wedding sequence?
That's a great question. Is the core dramatic priority focused on destroying the toxic past, which Sheila clearly represents, or is it about celebrating the difficult, hard-fought future, symbolized by the Steffi Hope alliance potentially becoming official?
The choice the writers ultimately made there, well, it dictates the entire message of the wedding, doesn't it?
It really does. That's something to consider as you watch all the inevitable chaos unfold.